Hi guys, so a friend of mine asked me to answer a couple questions for her for a project she's doing for school. But before I start, I'd like to say that I give her full permission to use any of my videos pertaining to my disease. The first question she asked is, how did I find out? I found out when I had symptoms like I was extremely tired, sleeping from morning to night. I didn't have any energy to do anything with friends or family, and I was pretty much just sleeping all the time. And I know you go through growth spurts and all this stuff, so I didn't really think about it that way. I just thought about it as I'm just need my rest. But then another symptom arose where I had bruises, and bruises meaning like not just a bruise here and there, like bruises from head to toe, all over my arms, all over my legs. It literally looked like I got either beat or I got into a fight. Like, it was terrible. I thought maybe I was just being clumsy and like was trying to watch where I walked and all this stuff, but I knew deep down that something must be wrong. So then I proceeded to my doctor's, which there they drew blood tests, and the next day I got the call with the results, and they told me to head to CCMC for further testing. So I headed to Connecticut Children's Medical Center, and they sent us to 5A. I didn't really know what 5A was until I saw the sign, and 5A happened to be the Hem-Onc Oncology Clinic, which meant it was the Center for Blood Disorders and Blood Diseases. And I immediately had this horrible gut feeling, because why would they send me to a Hem-Onc Oncology Clinic if they didn't know that something was wrong? So I was a little concerned. They ran further testing, and we stayed there while we waited for the results. And that day started from sitting on a goofy green big dinosaur giggling with my mom about how stupid I looked, to bawling our eyes out when we heard that I was diagnosed with ALL, which is acute lymphoblastic leukemia. It is a type of leukemia that affects the B cells. Yeah, it was a difficult day for not only me but her as well. How I felt when I found out, or what I thought when I found out, I immediately thought, okay, like, what do we do next? Like, I knew I had to start treatment immediately. I just didn't know what treatment looked like. I didn't know how to feel about it. I just didn't really know, and I just knew that everybody says be strong, be strong. So I knew that I had to be strong. So with that being said, I took it upon myself to call my family and tell them. So I called my grandparents, I called my aunts, my uncles, my boyfriend, my best friend, and I told them the news, and they were devastated. I mean, who wouldn't be? But at the same time, I told them, like, be strong, I'm staying strong, like, we're gonna get through this. And so I did. And to this day, I'm doing great. As far as this entire situation goes, I am in remission currently. I received my bone marrow transplant on February 23rd, 2017, and I was extremely grateful for that. It took a while for the bone marrow to finally start making its own, and I did have some setbacks with it, but for the most part, I'm doing great. Looking back, the process going through it all was definitely challenging. I'd say the most challenging part I had with the chemo was nausea. I had extreme nausea, and just the fact that it took 6 rounds for me to get into remission, and some doctors didn't even think that I would be able to get there, but I did. And with the bone marrow transplant, the hardest thing was definitely the mucositis and the mouth sores that I experienced with the methotrexate and radiation. That was definitely hard, especially since I couldn't eat or drink and I had to get IV nutrition. The doctor said that I had one of the worst cases of mouth sores that they had seen. The present right now is looking good. My bone marrow is making its own hemoglobin, and it's making its own white blood cell counts to fight infection, and it's also making platelets, which is the last step. So I'm extremely grateful. My blood type has fully switched over. I am now B positive, which goes along with my saying. The future looks hopeful, but it also has its setbacks. I mean, with my GVHD that I've experienced, which is graft versus host disease. If you guys don't know what GVHD of the skin is, it's when your body recognizes the donor cells as foreign and tries to fight them off, which creates a rash. And unfortunately, since mine happened again past day 100 from transplant, it's considered chronic, so it's something I'm going to have to deal with for my life, which it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely a setback. Also, the fact that with the chemo and radiation that I did receive, unfortunately, there is only a 1% chance that I will be able to conceive and carry kids of my own. So the future is hopeful in the fact that I'm going to have everything that I want and need, but it'll be my way, and there's no time frame on life, and there's no right way to do life, and there's no wrong way to do life. So I'm just going to go through it day by day and take everything in moment by moment and just appreciate the little things and appreciate the good days and just spend a lot of time with family, because throughout this whole journey that I've noticed that family is extremely important, and at the end of the day they're always going to be there for you and they're your number one supporters. So make sure you make time for your family and just always remember to be positive, and thank you for listening. Bye guys.